Good afternoon, welcome to Solent Sports News. It's 4 o'clock and I'm Linus Harrington bringing you all the latest sports headlines. We start with the latest on West Bromwich Albion's decision to sack manager Tony Pulis. The Welshman has been shown the door, with Sam Allardyce and Michael O'Neill amongst the early favourites to replace him. Speaking after the 4-0 defeat to Chelsea at the weekend, Pulis was wary of the possibility of being sacked.
I've been in the game long enough to know that, if you get bad runs, then that's what happens. But they have to make a decision. But I know, as well as everybody else, you have to get results.
Pulis is now being heavily tipped for the Wales job. Could there be another managerial sacking a bit closer to home? Pressure continues to grow on Southampton boss Mauricio Pellegrino following a 3-0 defeat against Liverpool on Saturday. Goals from Mohamed Salah and Philippe Coutinho sent Saints home empty-handed, and fans are starting to get increasingly impatient with their team's poor results, and feeling towards the manager are mixed at best. Benjamin Johnston reports.
Breaking news this morning that Tony Pulis has been sacked by West Bromwich Albion. I have been on the streets of Southampton to ask fans on their thoughts about Mauricio Pellegrino and his future.
You should sack Pellegrino just yet. He needs a few more games, but if it's looking a bit grim at Christmas, then we really need to be getting rid of him.
Looking at the managers really, and it's all down to the board and the championship style players we've got. Charlie Austin, not good enough. Gabbiadini, he is good enough, but he's not getting the service. And I just think Pellegrini needs a lot of money invested into it.
I don't think they should sack somebody after so many matches. I think there should be a wee bit of continuity in every club, and I think Southampton is a sort of club they're doing as well as they can. They're just below the big boys, so they're not really expected to win anything. Getting beaten in the cup final last year was maybe as good as Southampton can really hope for.
The manager should be sacked. It's not the manager's fault. It's the players. It's the players that's supposed to be playing the football on the park. So if they don't like playing with the manager, then I suggest they move on, and Southampton get some players that will take their places.
Premier League managers have lost their jobs this season, and with the season only in November, many more could follow. Benjamin Johnston, Solent Sports News.
Away from the public eye, Mauricio Pellegrino took part in a Virgin Media event at their Staplewood training ground during the most recent international break. Jasper Shiner reports.
Despite the international break taking away most of the club's top players, Southampton's Staplewood training complex is still a hub of activity both on and off the pitch. Virgin Media, the club's main sponsor, organised a match between national and local sports journalists and a Mauricio Pellegrino managed Saints side including members of staff and former Saints goalkeeper Kelvin Davis.
5 minutes before I come out, I was searching for a pair of gloves. Luckily, Fraser had a pair knocking around, so it's quite nice obviously to get back out on the football pitch and enjoy a game of football with good people.
Dave Hughes, sponsorship and partnerships manager for Virgin Media, was part of the team that set up the event. He spoke highly of the relationship between the club and the company.
Absolutely first class. I think I've worked with a number of football clubs over the kind of past few years in different roles that I've been in pre-Virgin Media, and without a doubt, head and shoulders above any of the other clubs. To be honest, the partnership team. Ash and Tom, who work here, they're an absolute dream to work with. And the club, I think, they just understand sponsorship. They understand brands. They understand the kind of particulars of what kind of we are looking for, and they go over and above on everything. So kind of couldn't ask for more from them, really.
The game was a rare chance to build relationships between journalists, the club and main sponsor. Post-match, we spoke to former Saints stopper Kelvin Davis to get his views on Mauricio Pellegrino.
He reminds me of a recent Argentine manager we had at the club, and fundamentally he's a good manager. He's a good leader. He wants to involve everyone, and although the results haven't been there, the performances are getting close to what we want, and I think it's obvious that you give a man time to get his ideas across, and certainly what we're doing in the training ground and with the lads, the results will improve.
As the sun set over Staplewood, it was clear to see everyone had enjoyed themselves. Jasper Shiner for Solent Sports News.
Moving away from football, and it's a sad day in the world of tennis, as former Wimbledon champion Jana Novotná has died at the age of 49. The Czech player, who won 24 singles titles in her career, including the 1998 Wimbledon title, passed away after losing a lengthy battle with cancer. Some of tennis's leading female stars have been expressing their condolences.
Somebody who was highly, highly competitive on the court with a ruthless kind of competitive streak. And yet off the court was just utterly sweet and charming. She was a beautiful tennis player. She was a wonderful athlete.
Staying with tennis, and in happier news, Grigor Dimitrov has won the ATP finals in London. The 26-year-old Bulgarian beat Belgian David Goffin 7-5, 4-6, 6-3 to become the first man in 19 years to win the tournament in their first appearance at the event. Dimitrov believes this win could be the catalyst that kickstarts his career.
A great platform for me to start the off-season. That's the number one goal for me. Obviously, I'm going to take a little time off and start the off-season. I still believe there's a lot to be done, a lot to work on, and I believe I can get better. And this is what I want to do right now.
Let actions speak louder than words. Cricketer Johnny Bairstow has called for England to prove their worth on the pitch when the Ashes start on Thursday. Off-field antics have surrounded preparations for the tour, but Bairstow believes now it's all about action.
Look, if we go about our business, we know that we've worked hard leading up to this first test match, but it's about on the morning of the first test at the Gabba when everyone's there watching how we step up, how we front up.
And finally, so close yet so far for Hampshire's Justin Rose, as he misses out on the race to Dubai title by just one shot. The English golfer carded a final round of 70, blowing a one-shot lead he had held going into the final day of the event. Rose instead placed fourth, with the championship being won by fellow Englishman Tommy Fleetwood. Just a recap of today's main news, Pulis has been sacked from West Brom, and pressure is mounting on Mauricio Pellegrino. Also, tennis mourns the loss of Yana Novotná, as well as Ashes preparation is in full swing ahead of the opening match on Thursday. That's been all from us for now. I will be back next week with more news. If you remember, you can keep up to date on our website at solentjournalism.co.uk. Until then, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.